I think it says a lot about the way we live and the way we relate to our own experiences. Sometimes we get enjoyment out of being sad, out of complaining, out of wallowing in misery, but really, um, there is no growth in fear, there is no honor in suffering, and there is no beauty in sadness. And if we figure out how we can transcend those states and those experiences, or how to stop glorifying them, we would have much better life. That's what I have found is true to myself and for everybody else I know. However, it takes a conscious choice to say, I'm gonna do what I can to have a good day today. I'm going to do my best to feel joy today, despite what's happening, you know, in my personal life, or in the political life of the country. Or I can try to take responsibility for my mood and for my own life and for my own relationship with my internal states.
Welcome back to Relatable Wisdom, the podcast where everyday people share the quotes that shaped how they see life, helping us all to find a little more meaning in our daily journey. Today's guest is Katerina Stoykova, a bilingual poet who journeyed from communist Bulgaria to Kentucky, where she traded her software engineering career to build bridges between cultures, through words. She's a connector at heart, founding her own publishing house, creating podcasts, and translating poetry across languages and borders. Let's step into Katrina's world and discover the wisdom that guides her beautiful boundary crossing life. Tell us your name and a brief intro. Okay, yeah, tell us your name and a little bit about your book.
Oh, hi everyone. My name is Katerina Stoykova, and I'm an author of several books, one of which is Bird on a Windowsill. I am an author of poetry books and a nonfiction book and a fiction book. I am a Bulgarian by birth. I was born and raised on the Black Sea, but since 1995 I've lived in the United States. I'm a publisher as well. Accents Publishing is my press, and we have published over 100 books, most of them poetry books. I'm also currently the 2025-2026 president of the Kentucky State Poetry Society, among other things.
Yeah. Wow.
Good.
Thank you so much, Katrina. Wow. I feel really, really privileged to have you on this podcast. Yeah.
It's my joy and privilege, and I look forward to this conversation with them. Thank you.
Yeah. Earlier on, before I started recording, you did mention that your book is a book of quotes. And so what we will do is I'll pick a random number between 4 and 151, and then we'll discuss that quote. Hopefully I pick a very good quote. Yeah, I mean, all the quotes are good, but I mean, I pick one that I really like. So let's see. What's the number? Today's date is 5. Okay, for me, it's still 31, 25. Okay, 31.
31, you say? Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go to page 31. 31 is about the capacity to love. Let me share. So this is the title of a section, but if you don't mind, I can go to the first page.
I picked the wrong thing. The first thing I could just to pick a number, and now what you're doing now, you're giving me a consolation prize. I mean, I'll take it.
Well, I think it is about love. So let's see, because everybody loves love, and let's see what we have on that page. Love is stronger than electricity. It's not that other people seduce us. It's that we so desperately crave the distraction of our own lives. Love is the funkiest currency in human relationships. Given, taken, stolen, manipulated, etc. Loving can be a lonely business. So, we can talk about...
What does that mean?
Those.
Yeah. What does that mean? Like right now, I understand what everything that is written here, but if I tell you that I know what you're saying, I have no idea.
So which one do you want to talk about, or what would you like to...
No, like help me make sense of what's on the page.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Love is stronger than electricity. Let's talk about that. I think that you can, if someone loves somebody else, then this person can do absolutely anything. And I guess there is a Bulgarian expression that says that hunger is stronger than electricity, which means that you will go through the live wire to go get bread. But I think that you'll go to even more lengths in order to do things for love, out of love. And I think that love gives you wings and superhuman strength, because I think that when you are infused with love, then you're at your most powerful self. What do you think, Wisdom?
Wait, I want us to be clear. What kind of love are we talking about right now?
Well, any kind of love. I mean,
Okay.
I have a child. I would do anything for that child. But I also have a husband, and I would do anything for that husband. I also love my higher power. And I think, I hope that I would do anything that my higher power asks me to do. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. In the part where you said loving can be a lonely business, what does that mean? I'm thinking, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, I'm thinking is when you love someone or you love people and they don't love you back. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying, or is this something else?
yeah. I mean, loving is our own internal job, and we don't really need permission to love someone. Also, nobody can forbid us from loving someone. Um, but also, there is no guarantee that this love would be reciprocated, right? So it
Yeah.
could be lonely.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to do something that most persons would consider crossing the line. Which one of these quotes is your favorite? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I feel like I'm asking you which one of your kids are your favorites.
No, I can tell you that the second
Oh, you do
one
have a
is,
favorite.
yeah, probably the second
Okay.
one on that
You
page.
know what you know what you do. I don't want you scrolling to be captured on video. So you stop sharing, go to the
Okay,
page, and then start sharing again. So I don't want people to start seeing the other pages. If you want to read the book, go get the book.
okay.
Okay, you there? Okay. I'm still seeing your face. I can't see the screen yet. See your face? Okay. Yeah. Why am I seeing the same page?
Well, that's what you wanted me to do, right? My favorite quote?
Is this your favorite quote?
Not necessarily.
So sorry. I didn't communicate well. My bad. I was like, you go to the your favorite quote. Once you're on that page, you then share the screen.
Okay,
You understand?
okay, okay. Let me find
Okay.
one.
Yeah. I'm so sorry. I'm stressing
It's
you,
okay. No
Katrina.
worries, no worries.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Okay. Yeah. Oh, nothing is tragic but the personal. There is no beauty in sadness, no honor in suffering, no growth in fear, no relief in hate. It's just a waste of perfectly good happiness. The burden you don't want to carry becomes heavier and heavier. Ooh, let me let that sink in. Wow, nothing is tragic but the personal. What does that mean? Let's take a quick pause. If you're enjoying this conversation and want more thought-provoking ideas straight to your inbox, join the Relatable Wisdom email list. It's free, quick, and filled with bite-sized insights, inspiring quotes, and behind-the-scenes reflections from our guests. Just head to relatablewisdom.com/join. That is relatablewisdom.com/join, or tap the link in the show notes. And hey, subscribing to the podcast helps more than you think, and it's free. So if you haven't already, hit that follow button wherever you're listening. All right, let's get back to the conversation.
well, let's think about it. If you hear about something that happens to someone else, you understand it on a mental level, but you don't have a personal relationship with that experience. And once that particular experience or something similar to it becomes your own known experience, then it becomes really tragic. Don't you
Yeah.
think?
Wait, nothing is. Wait. I feel
No,
like what you're saying is the Shakespeare quotes. Um, nothing is good or bad, but thinking makes it so.
I would say that here I'm trying to say something different.
Okay, so what's that?
Yeah,
Just
here I'm
paint a
trying
picture
to
for me.
say that once the shoe is on the other foot, then it becomes different. Then it becomes different.
Oh, yeah. There is no beauty in sadness, no honor in suffering, no growth in fear. Is that there's no beauty in sadness, no honor in suffering, no growth in fear, no relief in hate. It's just a waste of perfectly good happiness. See, why is this your favorite?
I think it says a lot about the way we live and the way we relate to our own experiences. Sometimes we get enjoyment out of being sad, out of complaining, out of wallowing in misery, but really, um, there is no growth in fear, there is no honor in suffering, and there is no beauty in sadness. And if we figure out how we can transcend those states and those experiences, or how to stop glorifying them, we would have much better life. That's what I have found is true to myself and for everybody else I know. However, it takes a conscious choice to say, I'm gonna do what I can to have a good day today. I'm going to do my best to feel joy today, despite what's happening, you know, in my personal life, or in the political life of the country. Or I can try to take responsibility for my mood and for my own life and for my own relationship with my internal states. I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, the part that caught me the most is that there is no growth in fear. Like
That's true
that's
because
you know how would you hear a quote and for some reason you feel like that quote was made for you because you have lived experience that speak to that attest to that quote. There is no growth in fear.
well, what happens is that fear stops us. And
Yeah,
until we push through or we do stuff that feels uncomfortable, then we cannot really experience true growth, because pushing against the fear makes our boundaries wider and wider.
yeah, no growth in fear. And it's I think it should be a mantra. It's one of those things you would write that, oh, because I'll tell you the truth, a lot of persons they want to be, I would just speak from what I understand, right? They want to be podcast hosts, they want to be that thing, right? And but they're afraid that, oh, they can't speak well, they're afraid that English is not their first language, right? I think it's one of those things that both of us can relate to. They're, oh, I have an accent and all that, right? I'm not what do you call it, from the US or stuff like that. And they have so many excuses and all that, but they want to do these things. And there's no growth in fear. So being afraid, you can't grow. Wow.
Right.
Oh,
Right.
yeah. The other one is no relief in hate.
Yeah, no relief in hate. There is no way that harboring hate, using hate as fuel can lead to anything good in your life. And you just think sometimes that a person can think sometimes that if they uh, feel hate towards someone, no matter who that is, then that hurts the other person, but not it really. It hurts only you. And holding on to that energy is going to poison your life. I'm not saying anything new, but I deeply believe that there is no relief in hate.
Yeah. And this hate we're talking about, it's not just, it's complete package. It's not just hates for people. It involves hate for people, hate for things, hate for everything, like basically, right? It's just a waste of perfectly good happiness. I said, yeah, sometimes after experiences and people hate the country, they hate so many things. There's so many things to out there to hate. If one decides to say I want to hate things, right? But guess what happens is the energy we're supposed to spend. You know, you said it's just a waste of perfectly good happiness, right? Energy we're supposed to spend looking at the things we love and all those things, which we're like, oh, I hate this stuff. My life is terrible because of this.
I absolutely agree with you, Wisdom. Very well said.
Yeah. For me, the thing about this quote is the last part. It's the part that kind of like You know, it's, you know how in poetry there's, what's the word? It's like, is it a paradox? What's the figure of speech? Where you have two opposing ideas together, right? He said the burden you don't want to carry becomes heavier and heavier.
Yeah, I think that we can make ourselves do something we don't want to do only so long. And it's going to become more and more difficult to do that thing. Like, for example, you work a job you don't like. And then every day you go to that job becomes more and more difficult. Or you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in. Every day in that relationship would become more and more difficult. So I think that in order to have our load become lighter, we need to see what we're willing to do, what we can make friends with from our experiences, and then decide how to move forward. Um, just carrying a load that you don't want to load, that you don't want to carrying a load that you don't want to carry without a deadline, right? Without
Yeah.
an end date to it, then that becomes a pure drudgery. And that also is a waste of perfectly good happiness. Don't you think? What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah. It's the burden you don't want to carry becomes heavier and heavier. Burden you don't want to carry. Like, as as I'm trying to like look at the quotes, it's having multiple meanings for me. The first meaning I'm thinking of right now is, well, if I'm not carrying the burden, what's my business with it, right? It's like, okay, from what you explained, the understanding you gave to me is that um the things that you're not supposed to be dealing with, right? When you hold on to it, right? The longer you hold on to it, the heavier it becomes, on and on and on and on. And then
Yeah.
at first, the interpretation I had of the quotes before you explained it was, um, the things like what do you call it? The unpleasant things that you have to do. Right? When I mean unpleasant, I mean difficult things you have to do in order to, like, of course, difficult good things that you have to do in order to get what you want. If the more you refuse to do those things, the longer you tarry to do those things, the more you postpone those things, the more difficult they become. Right now, of course, um, that was my interpretation. But now you explain it now. That's what I'm seeing now. That it's the burden, the things you carry that you're not supposed to be carrying.
I think your explanation is also viable and makes a lot of sense and enriches the quote and my understanding of it. And I
Yeah.
would say also secrets, carrying secrets becomes heavier and heavier, especially if they are, I don't know, have you ever had a secret so that you don't want to share? And then you know that it's eating you on the inside, and then you continue
You're holding
carrying
it.
and then continue carrying it, and then it becomes a burden, heavier and heavier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, can you stop sharing the screen? I want us to
Absolutely.
really discuss. Yeah. So from what I saw when I went through the Amazon page, I noticed that the book was published in 2018. So it's about 7 years now. So will you be celebrating the book anniversary? So I can come and party.
I don't know. I was thinking of having another edition because I have written new quotes since then. And actually, June is when my publisher is waiting for me to give her the new quotes. And I have a lot of quotes about writing and writers. And because I'm one and I understand them, the writers, and I think a lot about writing. So I don't have plans for an anniversary, but I have plans for new edition by the end of the year if everything turns out okay.
You see, that part you are saying is interesting, but there's no food involved, so I'm not interested. Where is the eating and drinking going to happen? That's the part that is interesting. I'm just kidding, of course. Yeah, that
Right.
would be fantastic, honestly. But the thing is that the book itself, I know you said it's a book of code, but I'm starting to see it like a book of poems.
I
Did
have
you hear me?
written quite a few books of poems. Um,
Yeah.
and my last one was published from University Press of Kentucky. It has birds also, between a bird cage and a birdhouse. So it's a book about
Okay.
immigration and kind of like the personal sacrifices that one does when moves from one place to another. Because,
No.
I mean, there is always something gained and there is always something lost. And that is an exploration of sense of displacement.
You know what you do? Just tell me where listeners can learn more and connect with you.
The listeners can check out my books on Amazon.com and they can look at the books of Accents Publishing at accentspublishing.com.
Okay. Thank you very much, Katerina. It's been a pleasure chatting with you on the
Thank you.
podcast. And thanks for sharing your quote and helping me make sense of it.
You're welcome.
You've been listening to Relatable Wisdom, and I've been your host, Wisdom Okonkwo. You've been listening to the podcast where every story, quote, and insight helps you see life a little differently. If you enjoyed today's episode, follow the show on your favorite podcast app and share it with someone who loved the conversation. For more inspiring voices and timeless wisdom, visit relatablewisdom.com. Until next time, keep living, learning, and collecting wisdom that matters most to you.